Hi! Thought I would do something different for today. I am currently trying to log in. I don't know why. Okay, I know why I haven't logged in. A whole lot of noise coming from outside. Hi! We're totally just doing something different today. And I hope you can actually hear me. How are you, Suliat? Like I was saying, I'm doing something different today. I thought I might as well just, stream. I want to see how long I can actually be on YouTube Live. I tried to stream in a different orientation, but for some reason, I don't know why this just don't work. Or is this the one? Okay, no. I want to see, I don't know why they gotta make it so difficult. Anyway, I'm just starting work. And I thought I might as well just do this. Because, I haven't been going live. And I might as well use the time that I'm working to go live. And if you want to chat, you want to ask questions about remote work, feel free to ask. I'm just going to be sitting here. I'm currently watching something on YouTube. I can't play music or anything because YouTube, but yeah, I've put something on my YouTube, on my iPad here. And I'm going to be watching vlogs, maybe the Waveform podcast, I don't know. But basically, I'm just giving you guys a little peek into how my day starts, how my day goes. I'm currently just logging into our work system right here. I've already put myself on available on Teams. And now, I just gotta pay attention to my work. I've got about 10 emails. But normally when I have like 10 emails in my inbox, that doesn't mean I've got 10 things to do. That's usually just, the attorneys directing on something. 10 emails probably means I've got like 4 or 5 emails that I need to attend, meaning I've got 4 to 5 clients that I need to communicate with. I'm just gonna put my fan on as well because I closed my window and it's gonna get hot in here. Within 2 minutes of each other around 10 p.m. last night. FB as the source data area, neither of which we get much from. I think we had another one from last night, which was FB. And best if PC locates someone in Concord. Okay, let's turn you on. Hi to everybody. Hey Mercury, how are you? Okay, so I've got my fan on. I have logged into work. I have got my YouTube on here, which is where I also take my work calls. I am logged into my work system. I've got my water right here. And now it's time for me to log in. I'm about to log into work. Get serious with my emails. Like I said, you're just going to get a sneak peek into how my day goes. With questions, please feel free to just put them on the comments and I will make sure to respond, okay? But yeah, you guys are just gonna be hearing K on my YouTube. I couldn't find anything. There's actually something I wanted to watch. Diary of a CEO. He posted a new video earlier today and I really wanted to watch it. Yes, with Alex Homozi. That's what we're gonna watch, and it's 3 hours long, so I think I'm gonna enjoy it. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to my little corner of the internet where I talk all things remote work. If you have questions about remote work, please feel free to ask in the comments. I am currently just working. I've literally just started my day like 6 minutes ago. Started my work day 6 minutes ago. So feel free to ask whatever you want to ask. Okay. I hope you guys can't hear all the noise going on outside. But anyway, even if you can, I mean, it's just a little noise here and there. But if it's too much, do let me know. Bro, what did you say? What was that? Sounded like something was falling off. Where are you from? I'm in South Africa. How are you, Lifex? I'm based in South Africa. And I work for an American law firm. Hey V, how do you apply for these remote jobs? I feel like I've been knocking at the wrong door. What requirements do they specifically look for? Thanks, you're welcome. Thanks for asking, Nondumiso. So here's the thing. When it comes to remote work, first of all, let me say this. If you go to my channel, I actually have videos where I talk about the specific requirements, the specific equipment that you need in order for you to actually work remote or at least to get a remote job. So please watch that. But generally, if you're applying for a remote job, they are going to ask for the same sort of qualifications that they would ask for if you were applying for an on-site job. Also, please tell me if you can hear me properly because my phone is not that close to me. I had to put it somewhere where it's elevated so that you guys have this view. So yeah. They are different things that they look for. The basic ones are just that you've got a laptop, you've got somewhere to work from, you've got an internet connection, you can communicate in English effectively and efficiently. You need to have, if you stay in a country, let's say like South Africa or Zim, where sometimes you have electricity issues, you need to have backup electricity as well. And then the general things like what qualifications or experience do you have. But again, like I said, go and watch the videos I've posted where I share all that. Pop culture, what a weird question. I don't answer such questions when I'm on my social media because my social media is not about my personal life. So sorry, I'm not gonna answer that. We are here to talk about, working remotely and making money online. You can ask anything to do with that and I'll be happy to answer you. And best of PC located in the Concord area. Researchers you seek an attorney in Concord area. I can hear you loud and clear. Okay, thank you. I just needed to confirm that because I was going to have to wear earphones or headphones or something. But thanks for confirming, and I hope I answered you as well. Well, at least I hope you feel like you've been answered. I've tried to cover most of the things with the videos that I post. So when I come on live, it's generally one of those what exactly do you want to know type of things that I haven't really put out there. But yeah, I will watch the videos. Thank you so much. You're welcome, babe. You are very welcome. And I hope the videos will help you. There's someone who left a really nice comment on one of the videos yesterday, and I think I took a screenshot, but with that phone, she was talking about how she came across my videos and she used them and she landed a job, and I was like, yes, girl. I was so happy when I read that, and I was just like, oh yeah. Why is this doing that? Like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? This is basically how I get through my days, chatting to myself here and there, literally just talking to myself all the damn time. That's the thing about, working remote and being at home by yourself. I'm sure it's different when you've got like a family in terms of maybe you've got kids or you've got your partner at home or you stay like in your family house. It was totally different before I moved out because I would have people coming at my door, whether it's my sister, my brother, my father, everybody, hey, hey, V, this. Now, when I'm here by myself, it gets a little, dare I say, lonely. You really feel the fact that you're by yourself. So you'll find to just keep myself, to keep myself engaged in my work and awake and not bored, I will talk to myself from time to time. Not all the time, from time to time. I know, right? Congratulations to her. It's just nice to know, like, nothing with being conceited or anything, but it's really nice to know that what you're putting out online is actually helping people. It means a lot. It means a whole lot. To me, at least. Like, I love that. Is somewhere remote legit? Uh, is somewhere like a website, or what exactly are you referring to? Is somewhere remote legit? I don't know how to answer, but if that's a website, it's a website I haven't interacted with before. But if you're generally asking if remote working is legit, I mean, it is. A lot of people that I know, myself included, at this point, do work remote. So yeah, I would say so. But please confirm if you're saying somewhere is Chidima. Hi, how are you? Guys, the way that my social media has quite a number of Nigerians. I'm just like, hey babes, how you doing? Come and join this corner of the internet, which is my favorite corner of the internet, where we talk about remote work and making money. I've just gotten to know that my Nigerian babes and me, I don't understand how I'm not Nigerian. I've said this so many times. I don't understand how, because me, I love money. Someone even said it on Threads, because the first time I noticed that my Threads was growing and I was gaining a lot of traction from Nigeria, I posted about it and people are like, oh, it's because the content you share, Nigerians love it, because Nigerians love the whole let's make money online. Nigerians love money. And I'm like, I love money. How am I not Nigerian? But anyway, it's good enough that I'm African. It's good enough. Thank you for joining. Thanks for joining, babe. Love it for you. Hi, Felicia. How are you? So many of you that I'm interacting with for the first time here on live. I hope you have a good time while you're here. Guys, I'm literally working, so I'm not going to be doing a lot of talking, but if you ask me questions, I am definitely going to be answering. So feel free to ask your questions as I work, okay? Somewhere is an agency for remote work. I am definitely going to have to look that up because I have never come across that agency. I have never come across their website. I've never talked about them. So I don't really know anything about them. Agency for remote work. And why am I doing this during my working hours? Okay, so it says somewhere formally support Shepherd, how to hire remote talent from South Africa using somewhere. So here is my thing. I'm not going to be able to share how or how I feel about them or what I think about them. The fact that I can at least see a website, that's a good thing. But I've never come across anyone who has talked about them to me or anyone who has told me they've gotten a job from them. I've never heard of somewhere. This is the first time I'm actually hearing of them. So it's gonna take me some time to kind of, go through them and then figure out, are they proper or are they playing out here? Okay, it will take me some time. Provide a suitable place for business. We haven't been able to open due to leaking roof mold and we are getting more back from that one now with the work being completed. So the issues that we seem to be dealing with today seems hectic. Okay, so that is an RE dispute, but not mortgage. You see, that's what I was saying. I talk to myself, y'all. I talk to myself. Expert advice. Which one did you use? So I got my job through JobDuck, and I promised people on TikTok that I would do a comprehensive video about JobDuck for an update for this year, because last year we was all about it, honey. This year I am still yet to attend their classes, their free classes online, so that I can share all that I can. But yeah, I got mine through JobDuck. They unfortunately don't hire from every country, unlike other companies that will say we are hiring worldwide. JobDuck only hires from 7 or 9 countries, if I'm not mistaken. But it's basically one of the first things you'll see when you go on their website. So go on their website and see, and you will see where they hire from and all that. Hope you're good. I got invited to a second final interview for an intake specialist. Any tips? I've watched many of your videos. Maybe I need a confidence booster. You know what? I don't even blame you. Usually we all need this just before that last bit for us to get the job. And if this, wait, can I ask Felicia, is this with JobDuck? Because I feel like with JobDuck, once you've gotten that second interview, that is basically the, what is it called? Oh no, but intake specialist, you will basically be working for JobDuck. I would say the fact that you're getting a second interview says a lot. You've already impressed them. This is what I tell myself. If you go through your first interview and you've passed, which I've never not failed, okay? But if you go through your first interview and you're being called for a second one, best believe these people are already sold. They already want you, babe. All you need to do is to apply pressure for the last time. Just apply pressure for the last time. It's with PJI Law, not via JobDuck, via Indeed. Okay, so your second interview, that should be your interview with an employer, if I'm not mistaken. All you've got to do, and I can only advise you from my own experience, I would say prepare for your interview. And when it comes to like interview preparation, I've always talked about how it needs you to do a lot of research And if Indeed works, guys, please forgive me. I've never applied for a job on Indeed, so I don't quite know how it works. But from like my previous experience with other companies that I've worked at and how I've applied before, if you're going through like an agency or maybe a hiring manager or something like that, your second interview will usually be then with the prospective employer. So your interview is going to be a little different from your initial one. The employer is more focused now on your qualifications and things like that. And again, I'll go back to how my interview went when I was getting hired for this job. My first interview with JobDuck, which is the agency in this case, it was very general and very like they just wanted to know like what type of person am I, how do I process problems, how do I structure my work day and things. They just wanted to know how well-rounded I am as a person. And then the second interview is now with the prospective employer, who is more concerned about your work capabilities. They are more focused on what value are you going to bring to the company, how well versed are you for this role, and how suitable are you for the role. So prepare mainly for those types of questions to kind of just prove your value and see how well you fit with the company. And also, besides just preparing for the questions, I would say before your interview, see something that I always do, and something that I always advise people before your interview, you want to do something that puts you in a good mood, like something that puts you in an amazing mood. And for me, that's usually either going to the gym, doing yoga, or going for a walk. If walking helps you or kind of just helps you relax, and this helps with you showing up as your true self, as your best self for an interview, you want to make sure you get the dopamine, you want to make sure you got all the nice hormones that make you happy flowing. And if that's also dancing, so please go and do some dancing. If it's meditating, then do your meditation before you sit down for your interview. You just want to do whatever will bring you together, so that when you show up for your interview, you're your true self. You're not trying to be animated, you're not too nervous and things like that. Do you attend meetings at this current job, and do you get to meet your legal clients, and the pay, if you don't mind sharing? So I obviously do mind sharing my salary, but in terms of meetings, I do not get to meet with anybody face to face or even on video call. With our work meetings, which we actually had our monthly meeting, we literally have one monthly meeting every single month, and we don't do video call in the company. It's just one of those things that I honestly really, really love and appreciate about the company I work for. I would not want to be trying to look all put together for an interview. I wouldn't want to do that. So yeah, I don't get to be on video call. I don't get to meet with our clients. Our clients, if anything, they call. I take their calls on here. They either call and I answer them here, or I make a call to them, and that's how we communicate. With my colleagues, we communicate on Teams. I am on Teams. If not that, we are on our monthly meeting where we don't have videos on. We are just, chatting for like an hour, sometimes 2 hours, and you know how it is, especially when you have those monthly meetings. I am literally standing there preparing dinner or whatever, and I love that, because imagine if I had to be on video, there's no way I would be standing there preparing food. There's no way. No way. I literally started work 24 minutes ago. I have not sent an email out yet. We suggest you seek an attorney located in Concord area. You may want to contact lawyer referral service. I think that's amazing. Let's send that, and then let's update everything else. I don't even know if you're interested in hearing about my job, but my job really requires me to be well organized and keep everything up to date. What I do affects almost everybody else. So if I'm communicating with clients, our paralegal will need to know what's happening with a specific client. The specific attorney needs to know that. So every time I'm sending an email or receiving an email, I am tagging it to the specific file so that everybody is up to date. And I try and do that as soon as I've just sent an email, so that I don't forget. If I forget, That's when you start having people asking, did this client send this? Did this client respond to this? And I don't like that. I don't like that. I like getting things done once, and that's it. Which reminds me, I actually need to create a video for the lazy people who are looking for remote jobs. My thing is, if you're a lazy babe like me, okay, if you're a lazy person like me, your goal should always be to do something once and not have to do it ever again. This is how I approach everything when I'm applying for jobs or when I'm working right now. I aim to just do something once. I don't like repeating things. I have a problem with authority, so I have been told, and I think it might be true. I don't like being asked for things a million times. I don't like being told what to do a million times because it starts getting irritating. So I try and make sure the first time I do something, I do it right. I will do a video about that, but it will basically be mainly focused around like your interview, putting your CV together and things like that. So that if you are putting your CV together and sending it in and getting an interview, you are only doing it once and you don't have to keep repeating it. But yeah, that sounds very great. I believe God led me to your channel because I have been applying for remote work. Oh wow, I'm sure he did lead you, and I hope you being part of my live or being part of my little community online will help, babe. It is pretty interesting. I love my job. I was at home. I visited my dad this past weekend, and I was telling him just I feel so blessed to be doing what I am doing. Like, I ain't even gonna lie. I feel so blessed to be working for the company that I work for, to work with the people that I work with. It's just wild. It's wild. I love it here. It is pretty amazing. I receive a remote job in Jesus' name so I can have time with my son after school. Amen to that. Amen to that. I pray that everybody gets a remote job, guys. This has been my thing since last year when I was on my TikTok serious. I pray that everybody gets to experience the life of working remote. I remember posting a video last year because there were some people who were basically going on about we need to go back to the office. Are you mad? Are you crazy? Go back to the office for what? Who wants to go back to the office? I'm sorry if anyone works in the office here, but I'm gonna tell you, nobody wants to go back into the office, especially me. Especially me, the person who advocates for remote work. I really hope and pray that at least people get to experience it, and then you get to decide if that's something you want to do forever or not. I know for sure, as much as I say sometimes it gets lonely when you're by yourself, I personally love working from home, and not just working from home. Being a remote worker is basically working from anywhere. So being able for me to say I am packing my laptop, I'm packing my bags, and I'm getting on a flight to Cape Town, or I'm getting on a flight to Nigeria, who knows? Now that I've got a lot of Nigerians here, one day maybe I'll be like, let me go to Nigeria. I love that. Um, Office for what? Exactly. Office for who? Let me work from a cafe. Let me work from Table Mountain. Why not? Like, let me just go and chill by the beach and work. I mean, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't? I really do hope people really get to experience this. I think it's a blessing, like, for real. Anyway, when I start talking, I forget that I'm actually working. Today, well, not just today, this whole week, our calls have been really chilled. I don't understand what's happening, but I'm not complaining. It's just one of those things. It's been super chilled. Trim Abram. Okay. Will we be surprised that we get so many buyer side increase for this and so few sales side? I don't know. Yes, it's just a reflection of us. seller side. Okay, so this is a seller looking for an attorney. I saying seller, my nephew sold them their house knowing it's structure damage. Oof, that's gotta be the worst. That's gotta be the worst. You will suffer. Apron. Whoopsie. And the hours you work. Oh, so the company I work for is in North Carolina. So I work Eastern Standard Time. That means I work there 9 to 5 p.m. But my time here, using Central African time, I work 4 p.m. to 12 midnight. Oh, did I have to say 12 midnight? I work 4 p.m. to midnight. I need to treat my hair. Haven't done that in a long time. I need to do that. Oh my god. Wait, but this is not a closing, is it? No. This is just a dispute. Closing disclosure. Okay, yeah, it's not a closing. It is not a closing at all. Wow, a whole half hour since I started work, nobody has thought of calling us. Impressive. I ain't complaining. Impressive work. Oh, I just remembered I forgot to edit that document there. Completely, I need to send LRS. It's me talking to myself and me. Great stuff. Then I was watching your videos. When I saw your live, you really dropped some great informative content. Oh wow, I can't read all of a sudden. God bless. Thank you, young girl. Did you have prior legal knowledge? So no, I don't. This is the story of how I got my remote job. Actually, before I start telling it, please tell me if it interests you to hear about it. If it interests you at all, please let me know before I start blurbing, and I'll walk you through. I will basically just walk you through the whole process of from application to what happened and what tips I can give you if you're applying for a remote job to the point where I actually got hired. And yeah, if you want me to tell that story, please let me know. And in return, all I'll ask you to do is to like this video. If you're gonna have me talking about how I got this job, please, I'm just gonna need you to like this video so that YouTube can understand we are giving the girls and the guys gems over here, and they can share it with many more people so that people can join. Okay, so do let me know. Let me know. I do not get tired of telling this story, and I love that because YouTube is basically like a new platform to me. I get to tell the story again. I have told it so many times, but I don't get tired of it. So yeah. Okay, Chidima is interested. That's enough for me, okay? That's enough for me. I am happy to tell you, even though everyone else who's here is not responding. It is okay that you have told me that you're interested in hearing that. So first of all, to answer you, young girl, I did not have any prior knowledge within the legal field. Okay, I'm applying to such jobs. I have a legal degree. Oh, nice. I'm a law graduate seeking a legal remote job. Ooh, you can share. Nice to hear that you guys are like law graduates and stuff. The thing is, I did not go to law school. I went to business school. I did a business admin, which again, I'm sorry to disappoint some of you, I actually did not end up finishing. Instead of doing my 3 years, I did 2 years, and then I didn't end up finishing it. But now let me tell you the story of how I ended up working for this company. First of all, I am going to give you a little background story of so that you just understand who I am as a person, because I never did an introduction video when I started YouTube. Maybe one day I should do it, but lucky you guys, you get to hear the story of it today. Anyway, so in case we are meeting for the first time, hi, welcome to my little corner of the internet. I am V. I am Vanessa, popularly known on social media as Remote V, and I do prefer for people to call me V, which is VEE, like, this V here, Remote V here. But anyway, so I'm going to give you a little background story of where I'm coming from and how I ended up, doing what I do now, even though I don't have a legal background. So I had a background working in call centers, and then my very last on-site job, I was working as a receptionist at an internet service provider. It's one of the big companies in South Africa that provides internet services. They also do like web hosting and things like that. I'm not going to be sharing names because I don't think there's need for me to. So this is basically just before COVID when I lost my job at that company. And during that period, you know how everybody is into content these days. I was creating content, Instagram, influencer, what. Also go and check out my Instagram, okay? So yeah, I was creating content on Instagram, but obviously it wasn't really like, it wasn't booming like that. It was working, but not like working to an extent where I could sustain myself without a job, and I had just lost my job. We went into COVID, and yeah, I basically became an unemployed babe. For 3 full years, I wasn't working, COVID was there, influencing wasn't going anywhere. And then as we were getting out of COVID, like around 2022, one of my Instagram friends, she's actually a really good friend now. Back then, she was just an Instagram friend. I mean, someone I used to talk to, but we hadn't really like met or anything like that. So she sent me something on Instagram. And for anyone who does not believe in God, or who doesn't understand that thing, I'm really sorry, because I will touch on that here and there. I don't believe my life would be where it is if it wasn't for God. So if that annoys you in some way, I am sorry, but babe, this is who I am, and you're gonna take it or leave it. So I do believe, that person was used by God to send me a screenshot of this company that had just, I believe they had just started hiring from South Africa. So I was like, okay, cool, let's try this. And mind you, I'm gonna give you the full story. At this time, I was not working, I had no income, I had a raggedy ass laptop. If you go to my TikTok, you will see the video that I posted with that laptop. It was broken. It was like literally the screen and the back of the screen were separated. So, story for another day. Also, I didn't have a phone because during that year, I just woke up one day and my phone was dead. I don't even know what happened up to date. I do not know what happened to that phone. I just woke up and it was dead. So there was that. You're giving me hope, child. You need that hope. I am here to give that, breathe that hope into you. I know a lot of people like will be unemployed for so long, and you start feeling like, oh my God, will this ever happen for me? And that's exactly where I was. Hey, do you see how I'm folding my hands like I am done with work? I will be talking while I'm working, okay? So anyway, this friend of mine sends me a screenshot. This company had just hired maybe 2 or 3 times prior to that, and somebody shared up to date. What they do is that if you refer someone, they give you a referral bonus, like you get paid each time someone you refer lands a job. So this other girl who had just gotten hired by them had posted about them on her story on Instagram, and then this friend of mine saw that. And I tell you, I say God used her, because as much as she was my friend, she was an Instagram friend. So she didn't know much about the things that were really going on in my life. And I wouldn't open up to that extent with people I don't really know in real life. Somehow, somewhere, God was just like, babe, send this screenshot to this girl, it will help her. I get that screenshot and I'm just like, what the hell? How did this person know to send this to me? I'm such a storyteller. Look at me, my hands will just rest with me and not work. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, cool. Let me see what this company is about. And remember, I said I'm going to give you guys some tips based on how my whole interviewing process and application process went. I believe that will help you, even if you're not applying to the same company. The processes are usually kind of similar, so I'm sure it will help. Anyway, I see the screenshot and then I go on to check out their website. I go on their website and I see it does stipulate where they hire from and things like that, what their application process is like. So I was just getting myself prepared before I start applying. Remember earlier I said I am a very get prepared type of person. Guys, I'm not seeing those likes. I'm gonna need you to like this video so I can keep talking. Okay, anyway, so I'm a very like get prepared before you do anything. That's the part of me that's pretty lazy. I don't ever want to do things like twice or thrice. Let me do something once and just perfect it. And because of that behavior, sorry, now I'm getting into just telling you guys about me. This kind of behavior, it's really just how I am. Whether it's in a friendship or it's a relationship or whatever it is, I am giving my all so that I don't regret if something does not work out, or I don't have to go through the same process of trying again. Do you get? So that's exactly what I did. I went through their website, I looked through trying to figure out, okay, what's this company about? What type of positions do they have and things like that. I remember finding myself on their YouTube, and they've got quite a lot of information on their YouTube, on their Instagram, on their LinkedIn. You will get a lot of information. So that's what I did. I went on to find as much information as I could about that company. And then I went ahead, I did my application online on that raggedy ass laptop of mine that was broken. Went through the application process. At this point, I'm like, okay, I'm cool. I've put my CV together based on the position that I was going to apply for. I'm like, cool, chill, let me do this. Also, let me just note, I had been home for 3 years. I had literally turned into the housemaid, okay? So when I did this application, it was late at night because I was just like, I'm gonna need to put everything of mine together to make sure I send this application and it opens up that little door for me to get a job. I remember sitting in my bed with my broken laptop, going through every little bit of information they were asking for. And I would say, if you're going to be applying, right, one of the things that stood out in that application, they had like a secret word that they had hidden in that application process, and right at the end they would ask you about it to see how much you pay attention. And that's one of the qualities a lot of remote companies are looking for when they are looking to hire. They are looking for people who pay close attention to detail, because keep in mind, you are working however many thousand kilometers away from your company, and you are representing them, whether you're someone who basically talks to clients or you're basically attending meetings and stuff on behalf of this company. They're going to need to make sure whoever is representing them is doing a good job. So point number one, make sure you're paying close attention to detail. You really need to be meticulous. So that was the first thing that I came across, the fact that they were like, oh, so we put this word somewhere in our text here, please let us know what word it is or whatever. So pay close attention. The first thing was preparation. Secondly, pay close attention to everything you're being asked for. So I sent my application, attached my CV, and they will probably have strict guidelines on how they want to receive your CV. Normally, when you're sending a CV, also share this live with someone who might find it helpful, by the way. Normally, when you're sending your CV, you're advised to send your CV in PDF format. This company was very clear to say, please send it in .doc. You don't want a company to ask for .doc and then you send a PDF. Already you have shown that you don't pay attention. Okay, that's number one. You're disqualifying yourself. And these are my tips for how I have always attended interviews, even when I wasn't working remote yet and I was working on site. These are things that I've always done to make sure I always get the job if I'm asked for an interview. So pay attention from day one. You send in whatever format they want it in. I sent my CV, I sent my application online, went to bed. The following day, later in the day, I had already gotten a response. Most of them will respond whether it's via email or it's via WhatsApp. But here is where the difference is. There are some companies that you can apply to online and they might appear legit online and then they communicate with you on WhatsApp or whatever. This is where you really need to also just rely on your gut instinct, on your discernment. Also do a little Google search online before you get scammed. Okay, so again, remember I said I did not have a phone. They did respond via WhatsApp and they didn't get a response, and then they sent me an email. In this email, they then asked me, I actually have a picture of this, and again, I think it's on that phone. They asked for me to take a picture of where I would be working from. My desk was raggedy, not this one. The very first desk that I was using is a desk that I was using when I was studying. So they asked me to take a picture, put a paper, and write their company name. I did exactly that. I sent the video. They asked for another picture of me holding that same paper with their company name. I did that and I sent it. And I will say, when you are being asked to do certain things, specifically for like a legal assistant, virtual assistant type of positions, they need people who are responsive. And again, one of the first things I spoke about, attention to detail. So I made sure that, knowing as I was applying for this specific role, I need to be someone who is responsive. So instead of me waiting to get an interview and then showing them or telling them that I'm a very responsive person, I'm very responsible, and I pay attention to detail, no, I make sure to show that during the whole application process. So I was very responsive and they were also very responsive. I was getting my responses and my tasks every 24 to 48 hours, nothing longer than that. So I sent these pictures, and then the following day they responded asking me to do an English test, which they will provide you with the link of where you should do this test, and then you send them your results, passed with flying colors, because that's just what your girl is like. Okay. And then I responded, sent them my results. The following day they then asked me to do what was the other thing? Oh, before we move forward, that English test, it may or may not, but usually it will include the fact that you're going to be reading something and answering questions. You will listen to people speaking depending on which country the company you're applying to is in. They will basically have a voice with the accent of their company, of their country, so that they kind of, see, are you able to understand someone who speaks with their accent? Are you able to respond and things like that? So you will read and answer questions, you will listen and answer questions, you will also read and paraphrase, and you'll basically just be tested to see how good you are with the English language. Sent my results for that, and then I believe that was it. No, I was asked to then what was it, with my initial application, also after the English test. Yes, after the English test they ask you to provide an essay. You're going to write an essay between 300 to 500 words, where you go ahead and talk about why they should be hiring from your country. And guys, you've got ChatGPT, you've got Google, use all this AI, just do your research and put that into an essay. Like, life really doesn't need to be difficult. Life does not need to be that difficult. So do your Google search, use ChatGPT, create your little essay, and send that through. And then right after that, I believe within 24 hours, that's when they responded and they're like, girl, you's amazing. And I was like, duh, do you think I wasn't? Like, duh, why wouldn't I be? But anyway, they're like, yeah, girls, so you know what? You have passed our application process and we would like to move forward to the second stage where they now invited me for an interview. Now, this is what you want to hear. This is what you want to prepare for. This is your first interview. And with remote jobs, if you're getting hired through an agency, you're probably going to have two interviews. The first one will be with that agency, and then the last one will be with your prospective employer. So this is what happens. They're like, we want to invite you for an interview. We're scheduling it for this day. I know that with JobDuck now, they will tell you, please schedule the date that works for you. But then they were just like, we want to interview you. This is the date that we would like to interview you, whatever. I'm like, yeah, sure, cool. We can make it happen. And they will also tell you, if it's not stipulated, you can use your cell phone or any device that's available. But I remember for them specifically, they asked me to use a laptop. If they don't tell you what device to use, you're welcome to use whatever, whether it's a cell phone, an iPad, or any tablet or whatever. They asked me to use a laptop, and remember, my laptop was broken and it was very slow. If I were to be on a video call, it would be lagging. So I asked my little sister, thank God I was still at home. Actually, where else would I be if I wasn't working? So I asked my little sister to try, and normally what you want to do when it comes to you doing your video calls, right? You want to check your equipment. You never want to appear as though you are unprepared, or you don't want to show up as you don't really care about what's happening. Like, that's the last thing you want to do. You always want to bring your best foot forward. So my tips for this part, when you're about to have like a face-to-face online interview, make sure you test your equipment before the day of your interview. In my case, I was at home. I had my sister around, I had my brother around, I had my dad around. And what I did was I asked my sister if I could use her laptop. And what we did, I created a Zoom meeting on her laptop with her, and she was on her phone. This was how we tried it, to make sure everything was working. You want to make sure your audio is working. You want to make sure your visuals are going to be clear, and you don't sound like you're underwater or things like that. You want to be audible. Again, the equipment that you're going to be doing your interview with, they assume that is what you're going to be using when you get the job. So you always want to make sure you are showing them the best, okay? Jude will talk about that once I'm done explaining all of this. So anyway, you do all that. So my tips were that you want to make sure your audio is clear. That's why I created the Zoom call with my sister, and I made her go to her bedroom and tell me afterwards if my audio was clear. Secondly, I wanted to make sure my video was clear and it wasn't lagging. Okay, and then the third thing, you also want to make sure when you're doing your interview, you don't have too much going on behind you. Always try, most companies will basically just tell you that, just have a blank wall behind you, and I would say that's the best. But it doesn't mean to say if in your house you don't have a blank wall or you don't have a white wall, it doesn't need to be white. It just needs to be not busy, because at the end of the day, you are the star of the show. What you're saying is what they're interested in. So just try and make sure there's nothing distracting in the background. Find a quiet place that you can do your interview at. Either you're going to be, maybe you've got a home office, use your home office, or use your bedroom. Just be in a space where it's quiet. And again, if you're also living with other people around you, you want to make sure you communicate with them and let them know this is an important thing that's happening in your life. And you would appreciate if they gave you the time to get it done in peace, right? Guys, I totally forgot I'm working. Now I've got emails piling up. What am I supposed to do with myself? Anyway, so that is that. We did our interview, and when you are now having an interview, most remote companies are going to be focusing on behavioral questions. Does anybody know how to define, sorry, can you define behavioral questions? Anybody, somebody, please, somebody, please. Or have you had a remote job interview at all? Please just, type that in while I respond to this. Anybody? Please ask this PC the following. Okay, Mr. Sir, I will do that. Gladly do that. What a red flag. 5576. What a red flag. This is the same person. 656. Yeah, no, this is you. We probably shouldn't be dealing with you, sir. We should not be dealing with you. We don't believe it would be honorable to have you retain us when you're confident we can provide you with meaningful assistance in need of a little contact. Okay. But what was the reason why we exclamated his account? I wonder. Can you please thank them for your opinion and speak to something? Okay. Wait, I want to know what happened. You've had dealings with him before. He is not a sports consultant as to not get involved. Oh. Guys, forgive me. I am just having a moment here. Nah, clearly we don't want to work with this person. Okay, but what was the rest of your email, guys? You see, this is the thing about paying attention to detail, hey? I was talking about this. This is the thing about it. This is literally a person who we had issues with in 2017. And you can pick that up and just be like, nah, we ain't going nowhere with you. But anyway, let's see. Oh, so the company I work for is in the US, so I use US English, Felicia. It is different, but yeah, my laptop is set to use US English. And when I write funny things, because obviously, like in the southern region, I believe, we use mostly UK English. But yeah, gotta change a few things here and there. I just need to write this email and send it to these two attorneys, and then I can get back to explaining what I was explaining. Okay, let's see. I should have copied that with the full thingy. Okay, let's say FYI, guys. email exchange below about this between A and Jam. Imagine if I hadn't checked this, like a copy of the list that had filed, send the copy of the disclaimer and disclosure. So sorry, I did not catch this, guys. I did not catch this earlier. Probably should have checked, but hey, I ain't got. Anyway, I sent to both of you. Please direct. Let's see what's up. Abraham Timothy. Ah, so now you come back using half your name where not Tim. Are you mad? Anyway, I've forgotten what I was talking about. So we had gone through, we were talking about what? The interview process. Oh yes. So with the interview process, none of you could explain what, behavioral questions are. But basically, I have talked about this on another live. If you go and check my videos on my account, you will find that. Again, please up the like game here, please. Give the girls some fuel to talk, guys. I will not ask you for money, but I will ask you for your likes, okay? That's all I like, your likes, so that YouTube can be like, hey, this girl is putting in the work. That's all I ask for. Please give some more likes, okay? That's all. Anyway, so what I was saying is that with the interviews, what then happens is you're going to be asked behavioral questions. And behavioral questions are basically questions that try to gauge your thought process and how you handle things within a workplace. You're generally going to be asked questions about your past experience in a working environment rather than questions that ask you about if this happens, how are you going to handle it? You can prepare for questions of when this happened in the past, how did you handle it? Things like that. That's what you want to prepare for, right? Also, these are things I touch. If you didn't know, let me actually say, if you didn't know, guys, I have a remote work masterclass that I do every month online. You want to go and check that out, okay? Get registered and all that. We go deeper into all these things. To answer behavioral questions, you are going to use what is called the STAR method. And if you want to know more about the STAR method, there's a video again that I've got where I talk about the STAR method of how you can answer questions. So you go through your interview, they're going to ask you all these questions. It's nothing that you don't know, to be honest. You're just going to be narrating certain things that they ask you. If you've ever encountered this and that in your previous workspace, how did you handle it, and things like that. And you always want to make sure as you are answering your questions, you do not badmouth your past employers, you don't badmouth the past company that you worked at, because you are, everything you're doing, like, let me just tell you the truth, everything you're doing while you're looking for a job is just going to be what they use to judge what type of person you are, to kind of figure out what type of human being are we dealing with here. So you need to make sure you're very careful with your words. You do this interview, it's going to be whether 30 minutes or an hour. They're probably going to be recording you, and that is how mine was. They told me they're going to be recording it because, again, if it's an agency, they need to record your answers so that they then share these answers with your prospective employer. So you go through this. This is why I was saying you really need to do something active or something that puts you in a good mood before you start your interview, so that you show up as your most authentic self. You're not too nervous, you're not too scared, and you give your full personality. At the end of the day, the people you're going to work with really want to know your personality, not a fake version of you. So you go through this interview, and I did the interview. We had such a nice time. I was asked the most unconventional questions. One of them, which I always repeat, because that's literally the only one I can remember for sure. It was the fact that they asked me, what are your 3 favorite colors, and how do those colors kind of relate to your personality? So always remember. And when it comes to interviews, guys, I will give you tips about interviews, because I've never been turned away after I've attended an interview. And this is where the whole be prepared more than you even need to be, this is where it comes from. I personally I would hate it if I had to attend an interview and then be turned away. Like, that thing, preparing for an interview takes a lot. So anyway, here is what they were asking me. You really need to prepare for an interview. That's one thing that I can confidently say I believe I am the best at. So it comes to your interview. They asked me, what are your favorite 3 colors, and how do these colors relate to your personality? You want to always remember, if you're in an interview, everything needs to be related to work. They did not directly ask, how do you relate this to your personality in a working environment, but you need to make it about your personality in the working environment. And I'm gonna share the answer I gave them, because I think it was pretty cool. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Like, it's nothing that's like, oh wow, she thinks so deep. But it was just something that I thought of in that moment. And you really need to also train yourself to be someone who can, think on your feet. So my 3 favorite colors, I can say, like, they are my favorite colors, but I wouldn't, on a normal day, I wouldn't talk to somebody about the 3, because my favorite color is white, and that's the color that almost everybody around me, they know my favorite color is white. The other 2, I love them, yes, because they are nice colors. So anyway, I was like, my first favorite color is white, simply because white is very pure, it's very calming. And relating that to my personality, I've noticed that whenever there's like trouble in the workplace or something happens, I am very calm. Like, I don't get agitated quickly, I don't get panicky quickly. So I think that's how white is basically like one of my favorite colors. The second color is orange. Orange is very vibrant, orange is very friendly, and I see that as my personality. I don't know if you guys see that, but that's what I see. I am friendly, I'm very bubbly, life of the party when I'm around people, even though I don't do parties. But yeah, I am very, like, I liven up a room. Wherever I am, I want people to be happy. I want you all to be jovial, be alive. Like, we are not dead, guys. Let's enjoy. We are alive. And then the third color is sage, because I believe sage, you can pair it with any color. And relating that to my personality, I can fit in any type of culture you put me in. I can gel with anybody. And even without, like, if we take it out of the working environment, I am generally a person, if you take me to the depths of the villages, I will fit in with the people in the depth of the villages. But again, if you take me to Dubai, baby, we are gonna do Dubai life, okay? So you really just need to prepare for such things, like the not so common questions. In the 10 plus years that I've been working, that was the first time I was ever asked that type of question. Otherwise, every single time I've attended an interview, it's always been like the general type of interview questions that you prepare for. This was a little out of my comfort zone because I was not that prepared for it. But again, you need to be someone who can come up with answers in the heat of the moment. And some of the ways that you can prepare for that, you really just need to be, I believe that being well read, being someone who interacts with people on a daily basis, maybe not on a daily basis, but at least frequently, it builds up your vocab, it builds up your confidence to also just speak in the moment. So try that. And then after this interview, that's when they were then again, they're like, oh babes, you passed. I'm like, duh, I wasn't gonna fail. Shh, please. So anyway, I passed this interview, and then the next step, most companies will then ask you to test your laptop speed. Again, I've talked about this in some of my videos, so please watch for like a more comprehensive like explanation of these things, they will ask you for your laptop specs, and then they will ask you to do a speed test. Depending on the Wi-Fi that you're using, I would personally say you want to have fiber. If you're in a place where you don't have fiber, then yeah, your 5G, your ADSL, whatever else is available will probably work. But most companies are going to have a threshold. They're going to have what their minimum requirement. Their minimum requirements are going to be anyway between 10 to 50 megabits per second. It's only now you're coming across companies that are requiring like 50 megabit per second line speed, but mostly anything starting from 10 is still pretty good and pretty fast for you to get your work done. But yeah, obviously if a company does state they want a 30 megabit per second line, you're going to need to have a 30 megabit per second line. If they are saying anything starting from 10, then whatever you've got upwards of that should be good. So that's basically what we did. We then tested my laptop, we tested my internet speed, and weirdly, remember how I told you my laptop was raggedy and broken and everything? Funny enough, years ago, I had bought that laptop without knowing that it's a gaming laptop. So it seemed to be a really good laptop, like a pretty good laptop. Now it explains why it was so expensive when I bought it. But I just bought it because you know what? I just wanted a good laptop. I didn't even know anything about gaming laptops. So yeah, we did that test for the laptop. It was pretty good. We did the test for the internet speed. It was amazing. And from there, we then went into a training. So they gave us like a week of training where they're basically preparing you for your job. This is where if you don't have any working experience, or if you do, you guys are put together so that they kind of, you know, prepare you for your prospective employer, right? And then after that week of training, so this is a funny thing, and this is why I'm like, I love the fact that my accounts are growing and there's a lot of Nigerians. The first person I ever worked for remotely was actually a Nigerian lady in the US. Funny enough, but she was so horrible, guys. She was so horrible. But yeah, the first company I worked for, we finished our training on a Friday, and again, this is why I'm like, if it wasn't for God, I would not be working from home and I would not be doing what I'm doing. Because normally that company would say if you're done with your training, normally it takes about 2 to 4 weeks to then get a prospective employer to employ you. Guys, I did not have to wait even a week. We finished on Friday. On the following Monday, I was being told someone wants to have an interview with me. That week, I had an interview. I started work that very week. So sometimes it's really just in the how you pay attention to everything you're doing. If you're producing stellar work, also something I didn't tell you. When I was told this lady wanted to interview me, she already gave me one task. She was like, please use this an app called Loom. She's like, please use this app to create an introduction video. I went on, I had never used Loom in my life, but again, I'm a content creator, so you're not gonna give me anything to do with video content and I would fail. So I went, I did that, sent it to her. They were happy. They interviewed me the following day, and then by that week, I had started working. And again, I'm going to say, it's not about luck. I personally do not believe in luck. I don't believe in that thing at all. I believe in you doing a good job, that you build your reputation. Oh my God, light bulb moment. I had this conversation with my dad this past weekend because I was just talking to him about his work, and he was telling me about, you know what, I have built such a good reputation. He's got 4 different companies right now trying to take him. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? So it's really just about you doing your work the best that you can the first time. It sets precedence for everything else that you will do, and it leaves a trail of how well you do your work, guys. And the likes are not even popping up. I'm just going to stop talking anyway. How do you or the company handle the tax process? So you handle your own tax. If you are hired remotely, you're going to need to make sure you take care of your own tax, whether that means you are going to be doing it directly with SARS, or you get a tax practitioner, someone you can pay yearly to handle your tax for you. Hi, Sibusi, so how are you? Where have you been? You've been at work, huh? Get all your friends to join, okay? Even though we're about to finish, get all your friends to join and give us some likes, okay? But anyway, yeah, so that's how you handle your tax. And yes, the speed, you're gonna need to make sure you've got the right internet speed for what the company is asking for. So that was basically how I got to work remotely. And yeah, obviously, like I said, that company, I didn't end up staying there for long. We were having electricity problems in South Africa. I didn't have backup power then, but thank God the company that hired me ended up sending everyone they had hired. They sent us inverters, but already I was having such a tough time at that company, to the extent that I was just like, I can't do this no more. And then, you see, these are the joys of getting hired through an agency. If you're hired through an agency, they will help you get another job. And I don't think if I hadn't gotten this job through somebody, I don't think I would have been able to just say, you know what, this is not working and I can't do this. I'm just grateful that they managed to say, you know what, babe, we hear you. That's okay. If you're not having a good time, that's okay. But we will keep looking for somebody else. I was literally at home, I think, for a week or two maximum, if I'm not mistaken. And then the guys I work for now were like, we want to interview her. Lucky for them. They then, yeah, we got on a call, we interviewed again. I went through my whole process of preparing for this interview and all of that. We interviewed and they're like, yeah, babe, we are happy with you. We want you to work for us. And again, this is a law firm I work for. I don't have a background in law, but remember I told you that when my last job on site, I was working as a receptionist. And I can tell you there's a lot of things that you can transfer, well, at least that I transferred, like transferable skills that you learn from being a receptionist to being a legal assistant. There's obviously the legal part of it that I had to learn and get up to speed, but everything else I had it on lock. And this is, again, this is why I will say, even if you're not like qualified for the position, sometimes your reputation sets precedence. Everything you've done throughout your application process will give them an idea of what type of things they can expect from you, what type of person you are. And you want to appear like a very dynamic person. And when I say appear, I don't mean like lie or pretend. Don't pretend to be something or someone you're not. Come as your full self. I made sure to always point out all the other things I do outside of work, because we are dynamic human beings. I can create websites, I can do content, I can write. I believe I'm a good writer, okay? There's so many things that I can do. And also, first call of the day.
You have to accept the call, press 1. For more options.
Hello, you're speaking to Vanessa. Can you imagine my first call for the day is literally a Google ad? Hate those calls. But anyway, so this is what I was saying, that also during the process where I was unemployed, right, I made sure to acquire different qualifications online. Again, none of them had anything to do with the legal side of things, but because I already was a business student, a business admin student, I am very interested in business. I did a short course in business, I did courses in social media, which also then translate to communication online, and generally that also shows even if they are to hire me remotely, I already know how the online space works. So try and be a very like well-rounded dynamic person, and that can increase your chances of either getting hired or maybe getting interviews and things like that. And then lastly, the thing you want to do is to join the remote work master class. It's a class I hold every single month. The next one is actually coming up on the 2nd of March, so please go check that out. The link to that is always in the description of all my videos, so have a look. And then join my free newsletter where I share tips, tricks, opportunities about remote work, and that's free to join. So please go join. The masterclass is not free, but the newsletter is. So get on that. And I think I've talked so much, guys. I did not have many emails in my inbox when I started work, but because I've been talking too much, we got some stuff that's waiting for us. So now I've got to go. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go, and then we will catch up another day, maybe sometime next week. Oh, you guys have a happy Valentine's. Enjoy your Valentine's tomorrow. I think we'll have to catch up, like, I don't know, sometime next week, or maybe over the weekend if I feel like just coming on live and just talking. Because as you can tell, I love talking, I enjoy talking, and I've got more things that we need to talk about, like social media and stuff. If you didn't know, let me just tell you why I want to talk about social media. I've been creating content for years and years. This is my 10th year creating content. So I want to be able to, like, share my insights with you guys and see how you can also grow on social media, specifically on TikTok. But for today, I am tired. I am now exhausted and I'm tired of talking. Guys, we'll talk another day. Bye. Bye-bye. I'm trying not to be rude. I'm going to wait for you guys to just leave and then I'll end the live. Bye. Oh, okay. Bye. Love you too, Chidima. Thank you for joining me.